Hello, sea creatures. If I had a catchphrase, this is where I'd say it. But I don't have one, so instead we're just going to get an awkward webcam video where most of the time is going to be me spent looking away from the camera. Because I don't usually do webcam stuff, and it's weird, and I also need to be able to read stuff off the screen. So anyway, this is a Patreon update video. Hopefully I will actually pronounce Patreon correctly and not muddle it into a different word like I usually do. But whatever. I started that back in January of 2015. It's been going for 2 years and 2 months now. Bit of an arbitrary date to change stuff up, but it's been needing it for a while. So if you have ever donated to it, if you still do, if you've thought about it but weren't sure, this applies to you. There's going to be some changes around here, and hopefully for the best. Basically, few things I need to point out about the current system, so let's basically just go back and recap how it used to be, and then I'm going to go over how it changed. So going through the tiers from bottom to top, at the bottom we have the $2, which is basically just there for the sake of being there. You don't actually get anything for being in it. For anybody who has been in that, and there are several of you, don't think that you go unappreciated, because it does add up, and every bit is useful to me. Anywhere from the low amount like that and the crazy generous people, I want to thank every one of you for doing it, because the money that I make through this is not spent on crap like the amiibo back there, believe it or not. It mostly goes towards just bills and food, possibly too much food because I'm fat, and just general life expenditures, if that's even a word. The fact that I am able to pretty much support myself off of this is awesome, and it basically allows me to be able to make more videos, because without that I would have neither the time or the motivation to do so. So just generic thanks in general, and that was a bit of a tangent, but it had to be said at some point. So moving up from the $2, we have the $5, which currently puts you in the credits at the end of each month. And I've addressed this in a different video, but just to make it all in one place. The $5, the credits, I'm still going to be doing those, but they're no longer going to be at the end of the month like they have been. They're going to be like a few days into the next month. So for this particular instance, like, it's currently March 2nd, and I haven't done the February ones yet, and that's basically because I want to be able to confirm which payments actually go through. Sometimes they do get declined, so it's probably a little better to wait. And I'm going to go into another tangent here. Don't worry, I'm not going to do it in the later ones where there's actual changes being made. But regarding that, I've spent a decent amount of time going through the backlog of everybody who has donated over the past 2 years, and I do have a tracker of it. I have this specifically so that I can refer back to it easily in cases of, like, if there's ever question over somebody got their reward or not. I want to make sure that I do have all that documented, and that is going to come into play with some of the changes later, so keep that in mind. But the 2 and 5 or anything like that, those are all staying the same. Like I said, I obviously appreciate it, but those are the lower tiers. There's not really any rewards other than getting in the credits. $10 and above is where it starts changing a bit. The old system for the $10 was theoretically you would get into a multiplayer session at the end of the month, and there were like 2 groups for that, and basically it never worked out. I did a few of those, and then they stopped happening. And every once in a while I would do like a big special thing like the Minecraft bingo, and those were fun, but it was something that the bigger ones I couldn't really keep up doing frequently, and then the lesser ones kind of died off due to a combination of me not having that many multiplayer games that I do in the first place, and also me just generally not being the kind of person to do that. So I've talked about that before, and it kind of sucks because it was a reward that I was supposed to be offering, and I didn't really provide what I was supposed to. I don't want to become like Spoonie, basically. And that was a point where I kind of did. At least I still produce content, though, so hopefully it wasn't a huge deal. And this is also what kind of brought to my attention the fact that a lot of the people who are giving to this seem to kind of be happy with the ways that things are, and I don't necessarily want to get comfortable with that because then I'll feel like I'm slacking. So I want to make sure that we actually do something good. Because of that, I'm completely changing the $10 tier. It's no longer going to be anything like the way it is now. And starting as of March, in addition to my current schedule, which is currently 3 videos a week plus random streams, and that is always still subject to change, but I'm never going to drop below 2 a week. That I guess just really depends on the circumstances. But in addition to that, I'm going to be doing another video every week, about a half an hour long, and this one will be only viewable by people that are donating to the $10 or higher. The way this is going to work is I'm going to set aside basically anybody who gets into that group. You'll need to provide me with some information. You can do so through the PMs on the Patreon website, and you'll be put into a Discord group. If you don't have Discord installed, you will want to get it for this. It's free. You don't have to use it for any other purpose. You don't even have to be social or anything, but it's just basically to kind of organize how this is going to work. You'll be put into this group, and amongst yourselves, you'll basically want to decide what game for me to do. Obviously, there's going to be some limitations. If it's a game that's only available on a console that I don't have, then I can't do it. For the record, I don't have PS3, PS4, Xbox One. Those are really the only major ones, I guess, but older consoles I might not have, but those can usually be emulated. And if it's a PC game, preferably something cheap, but again, it really just depends. I can if this is all something that'll be worked out in the future. We don't have to worry about the exact details. But the group will want to decide what kind of game they want me to do. And if it comes down to like a point where there's no real major decision that's being made, I can always just put up a poll, and then whichever gets the most votes will win. And then I'll do videos on that game. And if it's a game that I struggle to make interesting, if it turns into Skyrim and it's just kind of a pain to get through, then I'll drop it just for the sake of not making boring material, and we'll move on to something else. So we might have complete playthroughs, we might have let's tries, who knows yet, it's all subject to change. But that'll be a thing. Anybody $10 or above will get into that. And those will just be, those will be spread on the Patreon website. I'll have links to them, and you can watch them through there. Then $20, the current setup is you get a postcard from me. More on those in a minute. And then also you would get basically a recording session with me. And here's where one of the major changes comes in. With the old system, if you donated 20, 30, 50, or anything above that, you would basically get the opportunity to do a 2-hour, like a let's try or a let's watch or just some kind of 2-hour thing with me. And I did do a few of those, and most of them came out pretty cool. But one of the main problems with this is the fact that there was never really an incentive to keep giving after that. Like, you would do 20 one time, and then that would qualify you to do the video, and then there would really be no reason for that person to stay in the 20 other than if they just personally feel like doing it, and people have, and again, I thank you for that. But I wanted to change this a little bit so that you do get recognition and rewards for sticking with it. So the 20, 30, anything above that, those tiers no longer have the 2-hour video reward. Instead, I'm redoing it so everybody, regardless of what tier you're in, whether you give $1 a month or you give $100 in a single month, you do qualify for the ability to do this. And the way it's going to work is starting after the cutoff date, so anything from the month of March onwards, I will be looking at the total amount that you've given from basically just from that point into the future. And whenever you hit the $100 mark, regardless of how long it took you to get there, you get to do a 1 hour whatever you want, basically. I'm reducing it to 1 so that scheduling won't be as big of an issue, and so basically the videos won't be super long and people won't want to skip them. And also because now that I'm changing the system, I'm hoping to get a lot more of these. I probably did 10 or fewer throughout the whole 2 years that I've been doing this, and that's not due to people not hitting it. It's a combination of scheduling problems or never claiming the reward, and the fact that, like I said, you would do it once and then that was it. So I'm kind of hoping to get a lot more of these now, and I don't want them to be super overwhelming, so they're going to be 1 hour each. Like I said, this can just be a game of your choosing. We can watch, like I said it's an hour, but if it's a movie that goes like over an hour, then maybe it'll be longer. It really just depends on the situation. And so everybody will be able to get into that. Obviously, the more you do give, the faster you'll be able to get into it, but that is completely up to your choosing. So that's a very long-winded way of saying how the 20 tier works. You get the postcard, you get into that thing, but everybody gets into that thing. And since you're also above 10, you also get the private weekly videos. 30, basically the same thing. It's everything that 20 has, except in addition to the postcard, you also get a custom cross-stitch of some kind of sprite that you choose. I've released a number of those. I do have a picture. I can hopefully edit it in here. And hopefully meaning I don't forget. And I like making those. I haven't been able to make any in a long time, and we'll see what we come up with. That's pretty much where the reward tiers stop. There's no special benefits for the 50 or 100 anymore, other than just being able to reach your goal faster. So I'm not outright getting rid of them, but the thing with the whole Patreon system in the first place is you can donate whatever amount you want anyway. You don't have to stick to those. So if 1 month you can't do your normal amount, like say that you're doing 20 a month and you want to drop down to a lower amount, but you don't want to go all the way down to 10, like you can do 15. You can do whatever you want. And so if you are generous and you want to give over 30, by all means go ahead. And anybody in the higher levels will actually get special recognition in the credits from now on. I've avoided doing that in the past just so there's no complaining that I don't want to show favoritism, but I feel like you should get recognition if you give a lot more, so that'll be in the credits. It'll just be noted in some special way. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. One other thing I'll point out is because this is kind of testing out some new ground here, some of this is subject to change. I don't want to do it in a way where it'll be unfair to anybody, and that actually reminds me, a major point here. If you never claimed a reward for getting into a higher tier in the old system anytime from the beginning up until February of 2017, the change of the system does not exempt you from that in any way. Part of the big reason I documented all this is so that I can make sure I know who got their stuff and who didn't. So if you're one of those people who gave a ton of money over the course of that time and you never got anything for it, don't feel like the new system is going to screw you over. You still get anything that you were entitled to during that time, plus anything that you might be in the new system if you continue going with it. So hopefully that's fair to everybody. But I've rambled long enough. I'm going to end it here, and hopefully we'll get some interesting material in the coming months.